I've been thinking a lot about how my life as an artist is sort of like a patchwork quilt. I think of it as a patchwork life. I mean, I think a lot of artists do this. You have different parts, you make money doing this thing and you make your art doing this thing, and you've got all these, parts that fit together to make what life is. It's not like a singular job like some people have. But a colleague of mine recently challenged me on this because she was saying, is that really what you want people to aim for? Because it sounds kind of impoverished and scrappy. And I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, well, that could be. But what about a really well-made quilt? Like a really good quilt. So I was thinking about what that means and how the metaphor could work for us, right? So let me give it a go. There's beautiful, there's meaningful, there's cozy, and there's cared for. All right, let me see if I can do all of these. So meaningful, obviously, you'd be choosing pieces of cloth, parts of your life that have deep meaning, might even have history in them. Right? Beautiful pieces of cloth, but they're loaded with the magic of meaning, of history, of meaning something in your life, right? So meaningful, beautiful. Think about the rhythms and the patterns and the way that the pieces go together and the relationships between all the parts. A really well-made quilt has a sense of unity, but it also has a sense of, you zone in or zoom in on a particular area, you've got this gorgeous relationship of parts. So there's an overall pattern, there's patterns within the patterns, there's patterns within that pattern. It's gorgeous, right? You can stare at it for hours. And the relationship of the pieces matters a lot. Right, so that's beautiful. Well made. Well made is like taking the time to sew it carefully, to measure it carefully, to choose carefully. A good quilt, a really good quilt, takes a lot of time to develop. And there's tenderness in it, right? And if you think about what that would mean in your life, like that you're really taking the time to develop it well. You're taking the breath with it. You're not just racing through, which is what a lot of the impoverished quality is, but you're kind of taking the time to meticulously, carefully stitch it. It's the exhale, right? The settling of it, as well as the creative aspect of it. The well-made. And that's often many hands, right? It's not always just the one person quilting it. Traditionally, it's a whole collective of people who are doing the final stitching and giving it all that care. So there's beautiful, meaningful, well-made, and cozy, right? I mean, a really good quilt, you just want to wrap yourself around it, right? You want to it feels good. It feels restful. It feels like it's gonna keep you safe. I think it's a pretty good metaphor for the kind of life that you can build as an artist. And I challenge you to think about it as not just scrappy. I mean, as artists, we are often very scrappy, right? You're scrappy, but you're also creating this gorgeous thing to wrap yourself up in that has all sorts of meaning and is so carefully well made, well tended to. It's home. It's home. Your creative life, your life should be home. Yeah. So this is what I help people with. Val Gilman, Taproot Arts and Insight. I would love to talk to you. So send me a note. And then do all the things that will help this message get out to people. So what is that? It's save it, share it, subscribe to it, all the things, right? And get in touch with me. I would love to talk to you. Talk to you soon.